Hello everybody and welcome to the Learn Dota 2 League Season 17 Week 1. This is going to be a weird one for a few reasons. For starters, this is probably going to be the only solo cast I do all season. If I had not sadly sustained major physical damage today, and the person I was recording with had not already gone to sleep and we had not already done Game 2, we probably wouldn't even be looking at it. Also, we already did Game 2. We did the Game 2 live this week because the Game 1 that we were doing live FF'd before Game 2. So, we switched over to this series, which was already underway. And speaking of already underway, there's a weird glitch right now where replays start halfway through pick phase. So, well, not halfway through, but after all the bans are out. So, Lotus Orbange Chicken, that's the Nick team, taking on Shadow Shaman's Swedish Shawarma. That's the Reedy team.
Dire team pick.
Death Prophet on Team Nick. Skyrath Mage on Team Reedy. Lots of interesting bans going around. Nick putting a lot of pressure on Big Boy LaCroix. You can see two big boy heroes going down right there. You can see Otto von Bismarck's own Windrunner was the very first casualty here.
5 seconds remaining.
Really throwing some strays all over the place. You have a Dark Seer ban that's presumably, presumably targeted at their Pause 3. If you could believe that, presumably targeted at Nick himself. Conka ban, likely much the same. And you have a couple of mid bans, you have a PL ban. So, throwing strays at all the cores. Death Prophet the first up, Skyrath Mage and Rubik to follow. Very magic guys here. Notably, Reedy is going to have a major deficit when it comes to CC in terms of his support line. So he's definitely going to need to draft a Pause 3 with a lot of stun if he wants to make up for that. Trina Protector has at least a little bit more stun than these guys cumulatively have. Though, of course, the tree ult is not quite as reliable as Rubik's day-to-day.
10 seconds remaining.
So far, this is a very good-looking Rubik game, if nothing else. Probably a reflexy on the Rubik. It's a very good-looking Rubik game. The Death Prophet ult and the Treant ult in particular are two just massive spells to steal, and they're not really that hard to steal either. I mean, all of Treant's animations have this huge wind-up. So if you can cast when he does that, then you're in a good situation. Even the Alchemist stuff isn't too bad. I will say, I'm not the highest on an Alchemist against a team with an instant silence like the Skyrath Mage, but at least God made BKB for a reason.
Dire team pick.
Could be very rough. Reedy going to be running the Abaddon in this game. A hero with a very high win rate. Also a hero with no stuns against an Alchemist and a DP, though. They're really going to need to manage to bridge that gap. Of course, the good news is that Alchemist is now in a horrific spot. If he gets Skyrath silenced, then it's very likely that that will end just in time for Curse of Avernus. Muerta, another hero without any real CC. I'm getting pretty worried, guys. You gotta get at least one real stun. Come on now. They have the Alchemist potion throw. There's that at least. Another good on-demand silence, and a pretty decent way to deal with the Death Prophet in the midst of things. I mean, fearing the Death Prophet just makes her run away, makes her break her siphon, makes the Exo go somewhere useless for a minute. She could put the big silence field up, which is a pretty tenuous thing for really any of these guys to cross. So, in a vacuum, Muerta is not too bad. Not a bad pick at all. But in the context of having no stuns at all, it is making me sweat a little bit. I mean, maybe the last pick on Team Reedy is just the biggest CC in the world. Like, I don't know who exactly, but somebody who's just going to be keeping guys stunned 24/7, 365. 365 is also the amount of seconds that it's going to take Nick to determine exactly what he should be picking right now. Man, this is such a powerful pick to give to the first pick that already seems very favored in the current pick order. You know how it goes. Going to be running with the Medusa here. Not the worst thing in the world. It's not like there's going to be any Diffie buyers. It's not like you really have... I mean, you could run Anti-Mage on this team, on the Reedy team. You could definitely do that. But also, you would be literally just the Telekinesis Landing Stun and a Stolen Alchemist Potion, and that's your entire exhaustive... Well, and the Stolen Treant, well, that's not technically a stun. And that would be your exhaustive list of CC. Nick banning out the Timber Saw here seems to be under the impression it's a pause on Abaddon, which at least until the Medusa came out was not the worst concept in the world. I feel like at this point, running the Abaddon pause on may be more of a self-troll than anything. I mean, being able to potentially perma-silence the Alchemist, this is going to be one of those games where being able to keep that up 24/7 will be very nice. Being able to perma-silence the Medusa, much the same. But it feels you can only do one of those two things at a time, and it feels like it's pretty hard for a Puzzle and Abaddon to actually kill anybody in this game. And that's going to be a big problem for this team. You have the Skywrath, who can set up a potential kill on the Alchemist. You got the Rubik and Muerta that can make them go away and not want to engage. But how are you going to kill the DP? Route her? Certainly. Kill her? I don't know. Ain't looking so good as far as that goes so far. Necro ban, that would have been pretty bad. How are you going to kill the Alk? You can silence him for a week. Make sure he doesn't actually ult for an hour and a half. But if he does, then what? You just got nothing to do. And the Medusa is just going to kind of hit R and have nothing at all to worry about, really. Like, if the Medusa is not stunned before the Curse of Avernus pops on her, then she's got literally nothing to be afraid of. Or she gets to ult before the Curse of Avernus is popped, I should clarify. She gets to ult before that happens, she's got nothing to be afraid of, and if you're putting all your Curse of Avernus chips in the Medusa basket, then Alchemist has a lot less to be afraid of and will be able to ult far more easily. And then you have to start talking about, okay, what does this game look like when the BKBs come out, which is 4 heroes that do literally nothing at the moment. Abaddon can outlive your BKB, but nobody on this team can. Banning out the Dawnbreaker. 2 next heroes. This is a spoiler from the future if you haven't watched the game 2 yet, but they do run that Dawnbreaker in game 2, so that possibility is definitely definitely a clear and real one.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Can I use this time to rant about the new pick ban system? I hate the new pick ban system, it sucks. It feels like this is such a concession to the idea that they're never really going to have a truly balanced game again, so they give you so many bans up front just so you can get rid of, like, all of the heroes you just need to get rid of, and then you can start comfort banning. You only get 1 hero choice up front, so you don't combine 2 broken heroes. I don't know. It feels like such a capitulation. It feels like such just, you know, a surrender to the idea. Okay, well, this way you can have your 100% bans and still actually ban some guys before they get picked. I don't know. I don't like it. Just balance your game better, Valve. Come on now. Huskar also banned here. It wouldn't be the worst Huskar game. I mean, if this is a pause 3, it has to be like Enigma, it has to be like a Sand King, it has to be maybe this guy in the hypothetical reality where they got to pick him here. It has to be somebody with a bunch of stuns. Especially when you got a guy like that coming in. Has to be a guy with a bunch of stuns, or else you're not going to, like, be able to keep an eye out on anybody. You're not going to be able to reach anybody. You've got all the control in the world if the enemy will just gladly stay right in your lap. Which we have seen before. There has definitely been some games where you've had a side with a massive CC deficit that the enemy team was all too eager to pretend was not the case and just run into gleefully anyway. Taking it to the very last second here. Invoker. That's fine. You know what? A-okay. We're going for mid Invoker, I assume? Be finding out soon, I guess. That's the support Skywrath. Boss 3 of bed. Yeah, it's definitely a mid Invoker. You know what? That's totally fine. You've got the Tornado, you've got the Cold Snap, the Ice Pass gets slow. So I think that's, I mean, you're still going to be at a deficit. It's still going to be hard to catch some of these more mobile characters. But yeah, that's a very good pick if you're not running the more to mid. I guess not a terrible hero to stick on Reedy. I mean, primarily known as being a mid player. So you stick him on a pause one that he is almost assuredly run for mid, and it's not that bad of a situation. It's also going to be a support Alchemist. Interesting, I didn't really think of that here. The thought of that being the case did not really sink in. It's going to be interesting. I guess it makes sense. This looks like a pretty rotten Alchemist game. You really would not want to run him from mid, which is what I was assuming after the Medusa pick. Maybe that was flexed. Who knows? Let's just say it was and be nice.
Prepare for battle.
So if you recall, anybody who watched the VOD and saw this game too, you will recall that I did in fact do the roll call in that game. Of course, I will be doing it again here. Okay. J-Base says, okay. I think generally, with all this being considered, I do have to favor the dire draft. I don't think it's a decisive advantage. I feel like we're seeing a lot of those this season, where it's like, one of the teams has an edge on the draft, which is nice. We've seen a lot of like completely unpalatable drafts. We have at least seen one of those this season. We've seen some very unpalatable drafts in LD2L history, so having situations where it's like, one team is kind of down, but not like, lose instantly down, isn't a bad situation. I have to give it to the Reedy team here, though. I feel like this Invoker could be a real menace for the Radiant. They don't have any great way to deal with them. I mean, as much as I was harping on these guys for not having CC, well, they didn't have CC at the time they needed CC. The other team was pretty low on CC, but they didn't need it yet. Now you're looking at an Invoker with a pretty unreliable stun that he's often going to be able to Ghost Walk through if he's in his own territory. I mean, not under sentries or if you're quick on the draw with Dust, but that's not going to be every life. You've got an ult that's up once every hour. You've got the Primal Beast, which is really the only like super consistent, super reliable stun, and about 50 minutes from now, Medusa's probably going to have her Ags. So you're also going to have that. But really, this is a pretty weak on CC team facing down an Invoker, and also facing a lot of silences of their own. So, okay, Otto von Bismarck is about to die here. He is going to at least take his parting shot against Profleski. This is an interesting play, waiting down here by the portal to try and get that easy first blood with the safe land. They did not actually miss terribly much up here. I guess they're not terribly worried about this Primal Beast. I mean, you probably should be, though. It's a great game to be playing against him. So, as advertised... Oh, okay. Nope, never mind. Cancel that advertisement. Oh, no, he missed he missed that shot. Missed the fear. Slightly unfortunate. I guess he can't be too mad, though. He did get an A in first blood, at least, but... On the Lotus Orange Chicken, sorry, Lotus Orbange Chicken. Pause 1, you've got Evolution Pyro on the Medusa. Pause 2, you've got Wind, also known as Chobro, I believe, on the Death Prophet. Pause 3, you've got Nick, captain of the team, on the Primal Beast. Pause 4, you've got Melikor, which I believe is Canada PMA. I somehow forgot to check between then and now on the Treant Protector. And pause 5, you've got Otto von Bismarck on the Alchemist. On the other hand, on the Shadow Shaman's Swedish Shawarma. Pause 1, captain of the team, you've got Reedy on the Muerta. Pause 2, you've got J-Bay on the Invoker. Pause 3, you've got Big Boy LaCroix on the Abaddon. Pause 4, you've got Reflexy, who I called Reflesky all last season, on the Rubik. And pause 5, you've got McBuff, who it turns out is actually 2-7 on the Skywrath Mage. That is their regular player, not a stand-in as I thought. So far, this Invoker is just smashing the Sport DP mid to pieces. 14-4, 10 last hit advantage at 3 minutes. Is probably not the situation you want to be in as DP in this game. Rest of his lanes are faring a little better. Treant is getting heavily bullied here by the Skywrath Mage. Oh, actually almost gets the kill, but denied by an angry neutral creep, and then Primal Beast gets that kill in return. If you're Skywrath Mage, I think you kind of hate to see that. That's pretty rough. If you're Reedy, you probably hate to see it even more. At least it didn't really interfere with his farming at all. Does seem likely this Primal Beast and Treant lane, especially once they get some more levels, is probably going to be pretty hard for these guys to deal with. I mean, unless Reedy is making some awesome dead shots, it's going to be pretty rough. So the good news is well, I guess the bad news. I don't really see this lane, Abaddon versus Medusa, going much better. Just not a hero that does all that much to Medusa, really. You just need more damage than an Abaddon Rubik lane to really kill Medusa. I mean, she's just, even after all the nerfs, she's just so tanky. Maybe you get a lucky kill if she isn't watching her HP mana pool, but it's kind of hard to see, especially when she gets the first Lotus, which is a super nice perk to have as Medusa, because you can wait until your MB bar goes down and you lose some HP to hit that, and then it's like you just got twice the normal HP effect of a Lotus, basically. Prophet's still quite far down compared to Invoker, and is now going to have to lane with the assistance of absolutely no mana. Okay, is going to lane with a little bit of mana. Did have the bottle charges there, but she had enough for one throw of the bats. Let's take a look at that happening up at top. That was a real 100-0 right there. Wow, look at him die. Just gets absolutely pummeled flat. Laning against Primal Beast without a reliable stun is pretty rough. I would not really wish it on most people. I mean, it's not to the situation I wouldn't wish it on anyone, but like, it's not that many guys I think I'd be looking at. So far, the side lanes for this team are not doing so hot. Oh no, especially not if Abaddon just randomly takes a fall there. That's very, very rough to see at this point. Side lanes for Team Reedy are not going great. Feels like they're generally being overmatched here. They did take out the Treant Protector here, just won the Battle of Attrition, I believe. Oh, good dead shot to finish the job, though.
Did you see that?
There's that at least. You're still at a last hit deficit compared to either her lane opponent or her opposing safe laner. But at least he got a cool dead shot. And he got a cool kill. And he got a little bit of money. And conversely, he does not have any sort of reprise. He does not have any sort of, does not have anything really much to be happy about at this point. See, bringing on Courier. The finishing of phase boots, I believe? No. Not really sure what that blaze of attack's about. It's built into this now? No? Oh, yes, it does. Never mind. Okay, it's building into that, and while we're watching Rubik get run over, let us, oh my god, that's so much damage. Let us remember the tragic fate of Rubik, not Rubik, of Moirtop at the top lane. We got dove under tower by Primal Beast, who, spoilers, he hit Q and then he hit W. I feel like we've seen this situation happen a few times. Though I will say, I was about to start going into, these guys have a pretty decent mid-game, but have horrible lanes. It's really kind of falling apart around them as a result of it. And they do, in fact, have horrible lanes. But I don't know, I don't think they're horrible enough. I mean, for starters, JB is sitting there at twice of what Chobro has got going on. As far as last hits, he has a kill as well. I believe, no, he doesn't. He was not involved with that nonsense. And he's just getting dove atop, but even with all the tower diving, it's only a 10 last hit deficit from Muerto, who also has a kill and an assist. Can just leave here, which I think would probably be best, even if it is relatively early. The Baden is not losing this as badly as he could theoretically be. It's a loss for sure, but I've seen a lot worse than this. Good timing on that aphotic shield there. Feels like maybe it would have been a more ideal situation to start out in this game, either with that Magic's wand or with the bonk. Or with something that could give him a little bit of physical or magic resistance here. I mean, some armor or some such. This old big boy is getting a little hammered down here in this lane. Muerta is suddenly not in this lane anymore. Is actually decided to switch out from mid, perhaps? As JB goes to roam. Not the worst idea in the world. This lane is pretty well sunk, and DP does not do well on the Muerta, so Muerta can definitely just tag in here and take this lane over. Well, JB maybe even goes top. I mean, those two guys up top can run over Muerta pretty well, but I don't think they do anything to invoke her. It's not what's going to be happening, though. Muerta is, in fact, instead going to go to jungle. I don't know if I'm quite as down with that plan, but it's way better than just, I guess, sending her back to lane to die again. The Medusa wants your attention. The Primal Beast also wants your attention. This is a very attention-hungry team. This Iowa stack. Or parts of an Iowa stack. I mean, this Iowa stack is facing one of its fellow, I should say, Iowa stackers as well. Look at the net worth charts here, see if it's as bad as it looks. It's actually a little worse than it looks. Oh, jeez. Baden's really not carrying much more than support net worth. Not great. Muerta's not really far above that. At least Invoker's somewhere, but this Primal Beast won this lane just way too much. Makes me think in hindsight maybe the Skywrath Mage was a mistake. Don't walk into the Alchemist when he's doing that, Abaddon. Oh, where are you going, Skywrath? What the hell was that? He better be mid right now. Okay, good, he is. Shebe on the defense here. Getting silenced. That's a horrible time for him to be silenced. And he's actually going to go down. Okay. This is unfortunate. I think and poor Big Boy LaCroix is going to be in a very familiar scenario here. This is really looking like it almost wasn't going to be the case until that spill there. But this is just a situation where this is a really good mid-game team that is going to struggle to actually make it to mid-game. Yeah, even Alchemist is just going to casually walk here. denied himself. Should have brought a bigger ogre indeed. And even though the DP got absolutely pummeled at mid, just taking that T1 and getting those A's, getting those assists, has actually put her at a higher net worth than the Invoker. Despite Invoker's, well, formerly massive last hit advantage anyway. It's very rough. Not exactly, I do think it is a reasonable thing to think. I don't think you really... I think these kinds of lane matchups, especially with the potential last-minute swerve off of the Alchemist core, with the potential flex, like I said, I certainly wouldn't have been expecting a core Alchemist up until the last pick, but potentially it was the swerve that ruined it, but I don't think you really think about how bad these lanes are going to be until you get into the game. But when you get into the game, buddy, it looks so rough. Just Primal walking all over the guy. If they... maybe it's play a more defensive game, I don't know. It's not over necessarily, of course. If they can start getting some momentum back. They're not sitting here with a big disadvantage, and this is a great way to start on that if you can get it. Unstoppable. Unfortunately goes to the Skywrath Mage, but nobody's going to be crying about a kill on the Primal Beast. 955 gold changes hands, mostly to the support, but it's also quite a bit of XP as well. Look at the graph here. See if we can calculate it. Oh no, he actually was not worth that much XP. Sorry, Nick. You're just not worth that much, that many levels. Still a fairly big kill. I mean, this is very, very bad, and they're going to be on the defense for an uncomfortably long time, but if they can survive it at least, still going to win this in the long. Still a much better Invoker game and Morita game than it is for anybody on the Radiant. And if they can have a game, it'll be quite bad. Of course, if things go much worse for the Dire than they currently are, if things go much worse for Shadow Shaman Swaziland Shawarma, then the end could be near. DP. A little far, but she's pretty tough to get without the CC here. Baden is not going to graciously accept this stun that was given to him, but unfortunately, even with the cold snap, without the tornado and the ice path, they're still going to be having trouble actually catching anyone. It's going to be a minute until you're able to just casually get all that. Okay, Baden's dead. Wrong spot to be in. Oh, man. Oh, this could be really bad. Invoker's just going to get his face pounded off. Man, you know it's getting rough when the other side doesn't have the Alcohol or the Exo, and they still kind of won this fight. Well, they did have the Treant Protector ult. That did probably count for more than anything else. Really, that probably just does. That probably just goes as it does, unfortunately, on the ult from the Alk stun. Think if a bad just accepts that. Oh my god. Okay. Oh, but Abaddon in the range of the Alk stun. Oh! Well, that shot landed, not that it mattered for anything. The aforementioned problem of having trouble actually killing people is rearing its ugly head a little bit. You might get the supports off of this. In fact, they're quite likely to get supports off of this, but at this point, that means very little. Oh, I guess it could mean actually a lot worse. They are fairly high net worth supports. Abaddon was pretty close to them on the charts before that all went down. So there's that at least. But missing that Primal Beast kill is going to make him feel invincible. And he probably is right now. Maybe it's just as simple as somebody needs to get Rod on this team somehow. I don't know who. I wouldn't like to get on a Batten. I wouldn't really want to get it on Muerta. I wouldn't really want to get it on Invoker. I don't know, maybe just needs levels. Maybe just needs to sit back, finish that minus, get the levels out. Riley's pounding away back here, extending his net worth lead further. He's going to get a very quick BKB. Which, unfortunately, that situation I talked about where Magic Immunity made you pretty invincible against this lineup was not solved by the Invoker pick. That much is certainly still the case for at least a while yet. Now Rubik has the funny bottle, but he's going to explode. Poor Rubik. Oh, really? Poor Rubik, actually. That was highly unfortunate. That caused a lot of problems. Oh, Reedy! Thought shield off a good time. Oh, man. Oh, you hate to see it. Skywrath Mage very late to show up to this, and did that. I have heard that there may have been some performance-enhancing or unenhancing products being consumed by the Skywrath Mage before this game, and that wasn't by somebody on his team, for the record, saying that. I have heard that there may have been some performance-enhancing substances in use here. Rubik actually just got that last hit, which is kind of funny. Oh no, Nick! He like slammed himself with Rubik's Trample. What is this going to? What's this broadsword gonna be? Funny courier bad. Oh, nothing. It's just one of those for fun broadswords. Nothing builds from this in broadsword, right? Okay, this does. Never mind. Apparently he has the Ogre Club already somewhere. Must be hiding it. Oh, it's in his backpack, actually. Abaddon, my friend, you may want to, just a suggestion.
We'll take that.
Medusa getting shut up here. Medusa has taken the top net worth position, which is not as scary as it would seem on paper. They got a pretty good answer for her, and she is not the monster that she used to be. It's not game over yet. A Primal being as prominently positioned as he is, still not really having seen any kind of real resistance is not ideal. Reedy in trouble here. This is such a bad matchup. You hate to see this happen to poor Muerta. Once again, the Skywrath Mage slightly late. There's one thing I'm starting to believe may have been a pretty grievous mistake. It is what's the nicest way to say I don't think you get anything done playing Skywrath drunk? I don't think you get anything done playing Skywrath drunk. Which is gonna sound like I'm slandering him big time, but I promise I have a good reason to genuinely believe he really is inebriated at the moment. I feel like, as unfortunate as it is to say, a lot of the ways this team was going to be successful was going to be built around him, was going to be built around silencing some of these guys at crucial times, and so far we unfortunately have not really seen that. Seen some interesting Rubik plays, seen some interesting Abaddon plays, but I didn't shave my head for this game. Just having fun. I don't believe that. I don't believe that for a second. I neither believe that Rubik didn't shave his head. I completely believe Reflexy shaved his head, and I also believe he's not having fun at the moment. A massive, massive stack, though. I mean, thank God Alchemist didn't see this nonsense. Thank God Primal didn't see this nonsense. Abaddon taking his toll here. Oh, he actually did not get to walk away with that. That's sad. Skywrath Mage has gotten the Rod of Atos, which is good. I did not really expect him to be able to get it any sort of good time. That is actually an item that could genuinely change things a bit. Though the net worth advantage at this point is looking really hard to overcome. And the most important hero on your team just got turned into a sandwich. A panini, as it were. Skywrath Mage in trouble here. Primal's actually turning around. Oh, Rubik's pissed! Oh, hell yeah. Chemical Rage Rubik, that's what we like to see. Oh, nice. The Rod of Atos combo actually came out for them quite well there, but unfortunately, it's a little too late at this juncture, and Nick just reveals his BKB, keeps running through anyway. That could have been huge in the reality where he didn't get that off, or just didn't buy this, but sadly, it was only small.
Radiant structures are fortified.
This one is, as they say, I believe this one is slip sliding away for the Dire here. It is really feeling to me, my instincts are telling me, that I think Orbange Chicken can just uphill. I think Lotus Orbange Chicken can just, without even Aegis necessarily, just go straight uphill and just win at this point. Like, look at that. Abaddon just got walked all over. He died in a second. All he has is a poor Echo Saber. And I mean, I could nitpick this. I think when you're this far in the weeds, I think when you're this far back, you just can't go for the Echo Saber. You just need something defensive of some sort. You need some way to keep guys on the field. I mean, I know it's small change, but at least, like, anyone have Solar Crest on this lineup? At least Solar Crest, you know? You can at least use that on yourself when nothing else is happening. You gotta go more defensively than that if you want to have a chance. Because, I mean, great, you got the offensive item and it allowed you to kill their P5. Nick is still walking around on your mid here. Oh, he might actually not get this kill. No, he's totally gonna get this kill. Primal died. Primal died, the tree died. Actually, a lot of big deaths. I believe that Exo just came out. Okay. Well, un-okay that actually. I was about to say, they just did 1,000,000 damage to the Death Prophet. Didn't really matter, Medusa's just still just looking at him. She does not respect this team enough to stay and finish this melee rack. She is walking away.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And we're going to, because everybody has now decided to TP out, we're going to hit this button for some mysterious reason. Which is definitely something I do when I believe a game is unwinnable for one side. I mean, not something I do when I believe a game is unwinnable for one side, but neither the up team is attacking nor the down team surrendering. They're gathering for Loros here. Oh, you hate to see brothers fight. No, dude, no! Haste rune at bottom. Primal Beast, trying to build a heart. Getting scouted by the Invoker's Sunstrike here. Not at this point, like that means all that much, I don't think.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Your shrine has fallen to the radiant.
Haste.
Medusa now possesses a second life, even though she was one of the only people on the team to not die in the last uphill attempt. You know how it goes. Of course, this is going to be one of these farming Aegises. Brand new shard for the Death Prophet comes all free too. Can you believe there was a patch where Spirit Siphon just did that naturally?
Has fallen. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Other than going and getting the free melee racks above, they're actually opting to siege on T3 mid here.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle
Heart of
tower
Tarask
is
is
under
now
attack.
finished on the Tarask-esque Primal Beast. Trying to surround and deal with the Medusa here, but it is very tough at this point. Exo comes out. You like to be a bat into an Exo, but he didn't really heal much from it. Rubik getting just pounded on right outside of spawn. Okay. That was super awkward. That was so awkward it made my game lag. Flexy. Or Flexy. Just playing Dota. Yeah, Protector hitting the ground here.
Tower has fallen.
Ooh, alright, big hit on Nick. If it comes out right. He's dead? Alright, that's something. I mean, you did lose your Muerta for it, but that's something.
Dire's middle barracks are under attack.
The snake strikes back.
First life down for Medusa. Does have ult, but it's gonna be up an 8. Tell me why I ain't watching guys walking back here.
Dire's middle barracks has fallen.
Okay. It's a big kill on the Primal Beast, but like... You got the Muerta in response. Not like the Muerta is that much of a factor at this juncture, I guess. We're going to go right to top at least. They have foreseen my frustrations with this game, I guess.
What?
Exo coming out here. Playing keep away from this T3 here, just trying desperately to keep the Exo far from it, to keep the heroes far from it.
Dire's
Lots of skills coming out, little being done. And people think uphill is too hard, too punishing in Dota right now. Can you believe that? Walking back again, waiting for Alchemist to respawn. While the Dire does not really redress their 21k net worth deficit. They're looking at Nick.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Could be getting a little ambitious here. Yeah, I don't think they had a great idea that Medusa was going to be this close. That's a great shield by who I presume to be Canada PMA. I hope it's Canada PMA. If it's not, just take credit for it. Marta is buying back. On time to save the Rubik, mind you, but is buying back. And yeah. Ultra kill for the Medusa? Nope. Sorry. No rampage for you. Muerta just wanted to torture Evolution Pyro's psyche, denying him that rampage by dying to the DP instead. Before calling the G's. And Malachor says something very suspect to play us out. I think this is just a laning disaster. Unfortunate for Big Boy LaCroix, who just got off a season of laning disasters. I think this happened due to the flex, or at least the perceived flex. I don't think anybody... I think the entire strategy that Reedy's lineup had was kind of built around the idea of the Alchemist being a core. And then suddenly the Primal Beast comes out, which, sure, they have answers to that, but that answer is currently 3/4 of the way down his second bottle of Heineken when the game starts out. I don't know. I think if that was a flex of Alchemist off of core, it was a really good flex. If it was not ever intended to be that way, it was a good bluff. I don't think they ever really responded properly to it. I think they had a lot of eggs in a few baskets, and then some of those baskets were leaking. It is a very unfortunate situation. I don't think one you can really fairly take away anything from when it comes to the Reedy team. I don't think this is a real expose at all of what they could or potentially couldn't do. We'll have to see that next time. Hopefully they turn it around then. And as always, this is a weird thing to do in Game 1, but if you or somebody else you know what? It is too weird. Just if you want to hear the end of this, just look at like the end of the White Joel Burge line games that are going up this week. How about that? Or just the end of Game 2. Actually, I did it there, didn't I? Huh, that's funny. Oh well. Okay. If you want to hear that, look at the end of Game 2, which you'll be looking at right now if you're on the playlist.